Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm Katie from Wunder Mobility. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the topic of payments for sharing mobility businesses. Payments is, of course, a super important topic for any sharing operator. And I think, it's important that everything runs smoothly in the back end and also that the end user is able to pay with ease. So today I'm speaking to Ankit, who is our technical account manager at Wunder Mobility, and he's going to be giving us some more insights into this topic. So Ankit, could you just share a little bit about your role as a technical account manager?
Yes, of course. Hello, my name is Ankit Koul, and I am basically a technical account manager at Wunder Mobility. So if I would like to summarize as a technical account manager, I work on mainly three things. One, ensuring our clients receive a thorough and insightful technical onboarding of our product. Second being to help the clients achieve their business goals using the vast features set that we have in our product. And third, to basically channel a new and interesting feature suggestions from our clients to the product roadmap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. And today you're going to be sharing some insights with us into what we need or what an operator needs to think about when it comes to payments, and also what this looks like in the back end. And on top of that, what kind of options operators actually have in terms of customization. And also we'll take a quick look at some pricing models, pricing examples as well. Just a quick note for everybody watching, you can leave any questions in the chat on the right-hand side. And yeah, we'll try to get to them, but if not, we'll definitely get back to you after the session. So let's get started then, Ankit. It's important that operators can offer their users a range of payment methods. And in the back end, this requires a payment gateway. So how does this work?
Yes, absolutely. In my opinion, payment settings is one of the critical settings in our backend system, for the obvious reason being the way this is configured is directly proportional to your revenue stream. So let's quickly go to the settings. Right. So as you can see, we have a section for our payment settings and configuration. So the first setting that you can see is the payment providers. Like you mentioned, Katie, payment gateways are really important, and our payment settings in the backend are relatively simple to configure. Currently, we have integrated payment gateways such as Stripe. You can see here. Stripe is one of the most commonly used payment gateways, and others include PayOne, Sabadell, Crefopay, Payfort, and so on. Right. In addition, we recently integrated Braintree for enabling PayPal payments. So as you can see, we have several different payment gateways integrated, and all these payment gateways have their own set of parameters with which our system basically communicates using the API calls. All these payment gateways have different structures of sending the API requests and also the responses. So let's say in each payment gateway, we require the API keys to establish, a channel for communicating with these gateways. Mm-hmm. This also brings us to step one of configuring the payment provider settings, which is an action item on the operator side. So basically, the operator has to create an account with one of these payment providers that you see here. And based on that, we basically configure the whole setting of the payment provider. Now, of course, each payment gateway comes with its own set of unique features, which the operators can benefit from. So as I will just guide you through the Stripe one first. Yeah, so you can see that finally, once the API keys are set here, so the operator can make it active and proceed further. Yeah.
And this is something they have access to, that they can enter?
Absolutely. Yeah. So the keys here, which are missing in this instance, it's a demo instance. That's why. So these keys are something that they get from these payment gateway, for example, Stripe. And once they set up their account, they have access to these keys, and they just need to publish those keys here. And then our system kind of marries into the system of the payment gateway.
Okay. And so these payment gateways then allow the end user to pay in different ways. Could you give some examples of these, and maybe also an insight into what would an operator need to consider when they're choosing the different payment types that they're going to offer?
Yes. So once the payment gateway has been set up, then the operator has to decide on which payment types they want to offer to their end customer, right? For example, very common among German clients is to use the SEPA payment, which we also call as direct debit. You can see it here in the payment types. And then there are credit cards, which are very commonly used commodity for payments these days. And now we also offer PayPal, which has been enjoying a lot of market share in the payment sector recently. And yeah, so furthermore, we also added bank contact and ideal payment, as you can see here, which are very popular among Belgium and Netherlands client respectively. So an operator has to basically activate in the backend the payment type. As you can see here, for example, direct debit is inactive, but credit card, PayPal, bank contact, and ideal are active. Select the payment provider, select the payment gateway basically on which these payments has to be enabled, and also select the location where they want to have this. And a location is another setting in our backend which can be configured separately.
Okay, so this is something they can change themselves or add to or take away from this list.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. And it sounds then as well like the location could be one factor to consider. If you mention, in Germany, this type of payment is popular, or in Belgium, maybe the end user prefers to or expects to pay with a certain way. That's all something that needs to be considered, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So if we move away from how the end user pays for their trip, we can also talk about the pricing models. Every operator has their own kind of business model and their own way of billing, whether it's per minute, per kilometer, and so on. And so it's important for an operator that this is customizable. Could you talk us a little bit through the pricing in our Wunder software and kind of give a few examples of what an operator could set up in terms of the pricing models?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, once an operator has set up how to receive the revenue, the next logical step is how much should I charge for my services, right? So the pricing setting plays an important role here. In the backend, pricing setting offers our operator to configure their pricing globally. When I say globally, it means that when you set up your pricing here, it applies to all your vehicle types. Or let's say you have multiple vehicle types, one being a scooter, other being a bike, and so on. And you want to have common pricing for all your vehicles, you can set it up here, right? In addition to this, the operators can also configure specific parameters for different vehicles in different locations, which is the next step. But before we move there, I would like to also show you something here. As you can see, what pricing page in our backend is divided into, it's basically you can set up price per minute, price per distance, and also set up the pre-reservation time, like how much money you want to charge for pre-reserving a vehicle, right? Then you can also add some parking costs. Like if you park a vehicle, you want to get revenue out of that as well, which is also very popular among some of the clients. Then we also offer free parking minutes. So okay, you get to pay for certain parking minutes, but we can also give you free parking minutes for up to let's say X minutes per trip, right? Okay. So yeah, so overall these these are the basic pricing model that the system offers, but it is not limited to this, which is really cool because in addition to our global pricing, what operators can also enable is basically in order to meet their business requirements, they can request for different pricing managers. That's how we call them internally, like pricing managers. To give you an example, we have a pricing manager called threshold pricing, which is fairly popular among our clients. So it's a dynamic pricing calculator. What happens is this threshold pricing, it gives the operator time-based thresholds to adjust their pricing. So an operator can basically choose these time frames and the costs in those time frames. For example, you can, as an operator, you can enable like, okay, first 10 minutes for each ride can be made free. So there will be no charging. And once you move away from 10 minutes, from 10 to 30 minutes, I can set up a price of, let's say, €5. And then from 30 to 60 minutes, I can set up a price for €6 and so on. So this can enable different options for our customers. And apart from this, we also have other dynamic parameters like hourly pricing. If you want to not charge per minute and you want to charge them, the customers hourly, this is also possible. And all these parameters can be assigned to particular vehicle types. Like I mentioned in before, right now, this is just the global pricing. But if you want to go deeper and you want to segregate your pricing based on your vehicle, for example, I have a car and I as an operator, I also want to offer bikes. So it doesn't make sense to have the same price for both these vehicle types, right? So such business cases can also be handled with our pricing managers. Lastly, what I would like to also highlight here is pricing configuration also offers a pricing simulator, as you can see here, which proves to be very useful to simulate your own pricing logic and check if the result is what you intended to have. So I can give you a quick example here. For example, I select a basic plan, vehicle ID, customer ID, I also select. I can assign time when the trip starts and the end time of the trip. And based on that, when I calculate price, I get the whole log of the pricing. So you can just check, okay, I wanted to charge, let's say 2.85 cents for a 12-minute trip. Is it correct? Then you can just verify your logic here, which is really cool and comes in very handy.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of flexibility and customization opportunities. So I'm sure this kind of simulation is very helpful for figuring out what makes the most sense, depending on, like you mentioned, the vehicle type or the business itself. There's a lot of options there.
Right.
These are all things that can be changed then by the operator or decided by the operator.
Yeah. So global pricing, it's fairly easy. You just have to change it in the backend settings. But let's say you want your revenue logic or your business case is more complex than simple minute-based pricing or distance-based pricing. Then we also have an question and answer sheet about how your pricing should look like, in which we basically have some questions for the operator where the operator answers these questions and we kind of get a logic of what they want to do, and to translate that business logic into actual pricing logic is what we offer as a technical account management and also as a part of development team.
Okay, so your team can support the operators in figuring out how they're going to set up their pricing and their specific needs for that.
Exactly.
Fantastic. So so now we know about the payment methods and also the pricing model. So an important part for any business is then, of course, receiving the payment from the end user. You know, I wonder, we do have some functionalities to make invoicing more convenient for the operator. Could you, give us a little bit of information on those?
Yes, and invoicing and charging, in a nutshell, answers three main payment questions.
Mhm.
One, when should an invoice be generated? Second, when should this invoice be charged? And third, what should happen if this invoice charging gets failed, right?
Mhm.
So let's move to invoicing and charging section. Yeah. As you can see, you can ask the system here to generate invoices automatically, and also set the value of the trigger, or how do you say it? So there are two types of trigger in invoicing in our system, which are based on value, which you can see here. Like you can set up a value in currency, like if an X amount of value j- is uh, is basically associated to an invoice, then please generate the invoice. So system automatically knows that, okay, this trip costs 30 euros, I have to invoice it.
Okay.
And similarly, there is a time-based threshold. So, okay, there has not been an invoice which has been up to 30 euros for X days,
Mhm.
then still you have to invoice. So system can basically differentiate, oh, okay, 30 euros is not reaching, but it has been 7 days, for example, in this case, then I have to invoice all the trips which have been taken in the last 7 days,
Okay. So
right?
an example then, if an end user would have a ride every day on an e-scooter, they could receive, in this case, after 7 days, one invoice that has, the 7 rides, one per day, all combined.
Yeah. The only note being here that the time trigger is based on a reference time trigger. Sorry. So if this is like there has no invoice being generated in the past 7 days, then the time cannot actually trigger this invoice. Only value will. So
Mhm.
based on the first invoice, the time value trigger is as a reference to
Mhm.
that first invoice. Yeah,
And these values can all be set by the operator then as well.
absolutely. They decide what they want to set here.
Perfect.
Apart from this, you can also add an extra layer of security for customers who have not completed their registration, let's say, or did not go through the complete steps of the registration in the sign up flow. You can see here there's a section called prevent in-app purchases. So
Mhm.
what this does is this enables the operators to basically say that, okay, if I have credit packages in my system or in my app, I don't want the customers who don't have a payment method, for example, to purchase this, because that doesn't make sense, right? Or there is a customer who has not verified his driver's license. They should not be able to purchase anything from the system.
Yeah.
So there is an extra level of security here that you can add. And also, like if you're generating the invoices automatically, it makes sense to charge them automatically as well. So you can also select it here. It's super easy, just a checkbox. And this wait time that you see here, which is 10 minutes, is a buffer time that we keep so that the system knows that it has to do the end rituals after a trip, which is basically generating a PDF. Everything is perfect about this trip.
Mhm.
So I have to generate, system knows that it has to generate a PDF and send it to the customer. The customer receives it and then move on to the next charging queue.
Mhm.
So the minimum time you can set is 10 minutes and or more,
Okay.
right? What else? Yeah. Now, the last part of it is what should happen if the charge fails, right? Which happens in locations where vandalism is high. You have fraud customers, right? So operators, what they can do is they can set up max attempts of charging an invoice based on the payment types, of course. So for example, if there is a credit card, you can set up like, okay, after you can you can charge this credit card for 5 times, not more than that. Or if there is a direct debit, try it 2 times, because if a direct debit is not going through 1 or 2 times, it's probably the customer is not going to pay for this. So this is not lost revenue. Then additionally, the operators can also decide when they want to block this customer from using the service if there is a failed payment, right? So as you can see, the settings of number of failed charges, you can easily set it up. Like for example, as an operator, I want to say that after 2 failed charges, I just want the customer to be blocked from the system so that he cannot or she cannot use the system more, right? And also notify the customer that the payment did not went through, and you have to pay before to start using the services again.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's a lot of options then when we're looking at these failed payments, and these are things that the operator can also adjust themselves then.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, and of course they have their technical account manager to support them with any questions or support on those topics. So
Not only technical account managers, but also a wonderful knowledge center space where we have all our articles, and lately we have added some nice videos, which saves a lot of time for our customers to go through the repeated questions, not go through the repeated questions again, and just watch a video and save your time.
Oh yeah, we can share that. Definitely, it's a good resource to find any open questions. Great. So aside from the payment and the pricing and invoicing, I think one other payment related topic that's quite interesting for a lot of operators and can actually serve as a differentiator between them as well in their competition is kind of how they manage offers such as promotion codes or even plans. Could you talk a little bit about the options that they would have?
Absolutely. So as you can see, plans is a way for operators to configure different tariffs and discounts for their customers, right? So in our system, we have mainly 3 types of plan, and these 3 types are there to distinguish between what kind of customer is associated with this plan. So a customer has to always be associated with a plan to enable this customer to pay to the system, right? Mm-hmm. And the first type of plan that we have is default registration plan. This is a default plan when you are not applying, let's say, an offer code, a promo code, or nobody referred you. So you're just using the system for the first time, you're assigned to a default registration plan. Then there is customer referral plan for customers who get referred by other potential, like who referred other potential customers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we have promotion code plan. When, let's say, the operator is running a promotion for a, let's say, Christmas promotion, and the customers who join the service during this promotion can be assigned to a promotion code plan. Mm-hmm. Right? So when as an operator, when I try to add a plan, there are some basic fields which are fairly simple to understand. You can set up a title for your plan so that you're aware that, okay, this is the plan, what I call it, and how it's going to look like in the registration process to the customer. Okay. Right. You can also set a non-recurring fee, which is a one-time fee, because there are certain clients of ours who want to charge customers for using their service for the first time, let's say. Then based on your plan, you can also give certain bonus credits to the customer, and these credits can be then used to take complete trips or partial trips, depending on the amount of bonus credits you have in your account. Then each bonus credit comes with an expiration date. You can configure it statically or dynamically. Dynamically being you can set it up in duration. So the moment customer uses this plan or gets assigned to this plan, you can set up, okay, after let's say 1 month, the bonus credits should get expired automatically, and the customer has just 1 month to use it. Or you can also set up a fixed date, like, okay, Christmas plan ends on 26th December, let's say like that. Then if it's a customer referral plan, it makes sense to incentivize this customer who's referring other customers, right? So we have referral bonus credit. So this defines the number of credits the customer that who joined based on the advertisement gets, right? And yeah, so as you can see, you can select the type of plan you want. And based on that, you can also offer discounts, which is really cool. So you can say that, okay, there is a corporate plan and I want this organization employees to use my service with a 20% discount, or I don't know, 50% discount based on your use case. And you can also set up a time limit or a duration to this discount. Okay, they can use this discount for 6 months, not more than that. And then you can create a plan. Once the plan is created, you can, and it's active, the customer can see it based on if it's a registration plan, they can see it during registration. If it's a promotion code plan, they need a promo code to see this plan. And similarly, if it's a customer referral plan, they need the referral or the referral code from that customer. And when they input this code in the registration process, they see the plan.
Yeah. So there's a lot of customization options for operators then.
Absolutely. And you can create multiple plans. Then there are promotion codes. So a promotion code basically is like an offer. So let's say there is a client who wants to, or there's an operator who wants to enable certain customers with a bonus credit for, I don't know, for an anniversary of, I don't know, one year anniversary, and they want to give these customers some bonus credits and make their service look more attractive to the end customers and get more customers to the system. This is a very good option for our operators. So you can create a promo code, and currently we have 4 types of promo code in our system. You can see it here. So first one is registration code. Basically, this can be used only at the time of sign up. So if you want more new customers to your system, create a registration code as a promo code. And then there is customer referral code, which is fairly simple. You can create a code which you can send to your external partners. Tell them, okay, you can use this code and join our service and you get certain discounts, right? Then there's voucher code, which is for existing customers. So if you're an existing customer of the service, you can enter this code in your member area in the app, and you can get the discounts associated with this code. And the last one is registration and voucher code. It is basically the combination of both. So you can use it at the time of registration as well as also after registration, right? And yeah, you have the field to create your own code, for example, Christmas 20 or something like that. And also enable a start and end time of this code, right? And also you can determine how many times you want this code to be used. So of course, one customer can use the code only once, but you can also specify the magnitude. Like I want only the first 100 customers to use this code using this field called number of allowed uses. And what is more cooler, I think, is that you have the option to assign a customer to a plan. Of course, if it's a registration code, you can assign a customer to a particular plan. So like I mentioned, if it's a promotion code plan running in the month of Christmas, you can create a Christmas code, assign the customers so that you as an operator know, okay, this is a customer who has been joining our services during the December month or Christmas month, for an example. Yes, and you can assign customer to a location, which is also great. So you can say that, okay, this is a promotion code. Being an operator who operates in different cities, you can say, this is a promotion code for city X, this is a promotion code for city Y, and then assign the customer to these locations based on these promo codes, right? And expiration time, like I explained, fairly simple. Then we move on to credit packages. Yeah, so credit packages are items that where the end customer or end user can purchase a bulk amount of credits for a set piece of price at once. Like, so these credits will be stored in these customer accounts or their end customer accounts, and you can use them to pay for your trips. So as you can see, for basic example, we have right now 3, but you can also add more credit packages. Let me try to edit one so that you see. As you can see, we also support now multi-language in our credit packages. So you can have a credit package with its explanation and description in English, and the same credit package with German explanation, right? So it's fairly simple. You can say that this credit package costs 50 euros, and on if you pay 50 euros, you get 5,000 credits in return, right? And then these credits can be used by the customers.
The operator can decide how much a credit is worth. For example, 1 credit or 10 credits is worth 1 minute of e-moped riding, for example.
Yeah, the operator can decide, but that's automatically decided by the minute pricing, actually.
Okay.
So if you say that I have a pricing of 10 euros per minute, then you already know that your one credit costs, I don't know, 10, your 10 credit, one credit costs 10 euros, right?
Okay.
So you can
recognizes that it's linked to the pricing model.
Exactly. So yeah, and you can also select the location where you want to show these credit packages. So maybe there are credit packages which you don't want to show in Berlin and want to show in Frankfurt, for example. And then also decide, like other plans and promotion codes, the duration that this credit package should have. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So these packages and discounts and plans, these can all then be used as part of marketing initiatives, for example, for the operators, and to kind of boost their presence and grow their customer base.
Yeah.
So it seems as well like everything is very customizable. There's a lot of options for the operators to decide how they want to set up everything surrounding payments in the system and what suits them. So thank you so much for sharing that. We've talked about the payment methods, we've talked about the pricing, the invoicing options, and also these plans. And I think that's given a really good insight into what's possible in the software, and what kind of things as well that operators need to think about, and what they're able to customize. So thank you so much for sharing all of these insights. We had a couple of questions. We've reached the end of our time of the session today, so we'll get back to any of those. And of course, like we mentioned, any customers can reach out to their account manager with any questions, or if they want to set up anything specific, and we'll help you through that. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, Ankit, and for sharing all of these insights. And yeah, we'll share the recording with everyone after the session as well.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.